Hi, today I want to share with you an Excel function called indirect. So, what is indirect? It turns any string into a reference, a cell reference. So, let's take a look at this example here. Now, um, a cell reference is a cell that, let's say here in cell D, this reference is called D1. Now, if you say I have one and then one, and then I can just say that click on this here. Now notice that this is a cell reference. The cell reference has no double quote. If you put a double quote, then it's D1. But if you remove the double quote, this is referring to this here. Now if I put the name here 7, it will become 7. So it's referring to here. And this is called a reference. Now I can also, besides saying that this cell is called D1, I can also name the cell. So for example, that I can say that this cell here, A2, I can give it a name. Maybe different things right now. I'll just say that this cell D1. Okay, cell D1, I can just go to the name box here and give it a name called inbox A, input A. And now this name is given as input A. Now, if I want to refer any value here, let's say some value, okay, just put that 7 again, right? So instead of showing as D1, I click on D1, it will now show as the word input A. And again, notice that this input A has no double quote. If you put just enter, see the 7 here. Now, if I put here Malaysia, and this will return as, it will just pick up the value here. Okay, so with that in mind, we can also name a cell, a range of cell. So for example here, I use the same method. I highlight the whole list. Excel have basic, intermediate, advanced. So I select this whole list here, and I come over to the name box, and I give them a name called Excel. Now, if you want to remove that value, you can't just remove like this. You can't, right? It is still there, you see? So how do you remove that names range? You go to the formulas, name manager, and select the item and choose delete. And notice that now when I highlight this list, the name box has nothing. Okay, so now I give that a name called Excel. Enter. So now notice that the moment I put Excel here, you see that here, there's a value here, right? So how does that happen? Now this is where we use the indirect functions, right? So indirect functions, let's just start with another easier one, right? So indirect, and I put in the value of say D1, and guess what I get? Nothing, because D1 is already uh, replaced with a name box called uh, input A. So let's go ahead and name measure and go over here and just delete it. Close, and let's just do again. Um, D1. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah, that's because we should change it to here. Uh, so I'm referencing D1, and I should be getting a value of Malaysia. But why it doesn't work? Let's see. Okay, let's just ignore the error. No. Let's just do it again, yeah? Equal indirect D1. Whoops. That is something strange. Alright, so seems like D1 doesn't work that much. Mm, the manager, I'm still having it. So that is very common, right? With the deal with this. So now seems like this doesn't work, and let's see if I can just go for other indirect functions. Indirect functions where I go for the reference tags. Oh no 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 no. Inside it should be text value. Okay, so you can see that now it's day one. See that here, day one. Okay, so now unless here we put in, let me see, could be complicated, right? So the D1, this indirect is where it means, right? Say it turn a string. A string is enclosed with double quote. So when you turn a string into a reference, you actually refer the D1 as the text D1 as D1, and they go to D1 and they check the value is D1, so they get this relation. So now we can also do the same for indirect group of cell. So in this case, we use indirect. You see that? So we can add two. So that's basic and so on. So how do you do this again, right? So this is delete, and we get the indirect, and I select this cell here. So let's just enter. See, cell A2, cell A2 as a value here, and it turn this into Excel. And it basically goes to cell A2 and find out this. So I get the value in this cell A2, which is a text value Excel. And from the text value Excel, it will convert it to a reference. And then now Excel is actually a reference. Where does it refer to? You can go to the name box and choose here, and it shows us here basic, intermediate, advanced. So that's why here you can see that there are basic, intermediate, advanced. Okay, now let's do another one, right? Let's go to highlight this list here and go to the name box, and we give the name of this area that is same as the one at the above, right? This is the header, so I enter, and this time here I change it to Power BI and enter. Look at that, look at that, it's just changed. Now I just change it to Excel. Let's just go to basic. Okay, so now we're gonna create a dependent drop down list. So the cost that is available is depends on the category. So let's just delete this. So how can I do that? Okay, let's just delete this. How do we create that? So let's just go for select the cell B2. We go to data tab, choose data validation, and then go for list. It's right here. We enter the same function called indirect and select the cell here. Close parenthesis. Okay, so indirect, cell A2, click OK, and look at that. We have intermediate. Now if I change this to Power BI, and it will have an option for choose for dashboard and so on. So how cool is that, right? It's just Excel that you can have the choice of this and that. And notice that this will change as well, right? So the moment I change it to Power BI, it changed. This is the selected cost, right? For this category, we have this selected cost, and that is what it means to use the drop down list, and also how to use the create a name cell, a name range. We highlight the list and then give that name, or highlight it here, give that name. And we create a drop down list using data validations and choose list here and so on. Right? Okay, so I can just select this item here. Okay, select this and I click OK. So here I also don't need to change that. So there you go. So you can use the same method in Google Sheet. You see that here. Same Power BI, Excel, text. We're gonna use that. Okay. Let me see. Let's use advanced. Yeah. So if I go for a Power BI and I can choose another one, so you can see that here. It's the same. So how do we create that? Well, first of all, I already done this again. So I want to delete this item. Just choose the item delete, remove, and same goes here. Delete, remove. Now, how to create that? Same thing, you have the list there already, and we're using the same indirect function, so I explained that already. Now, to name it, we go to the data tab, choose name range, and then give that name. So the name should be exactly same with the header here, and the range. I can click on this button, choose just remove, just select this item here. Okay, C4 to C6, click OK, click done. We just done with the first one, and we can create the second name range. Just click add a range, and again I get a name called Power BI. And as for here, again we just delete this. We select this item here. Oops, let's just choose here. Then click OK. So this has D4 to D6. Click done. And there you are. Right. So now, depends on this here. So because now it's PRPI, if I change it to Excel, it will be basics to intermediate because it's now referred to that uh, range, that name range called Excel. So right now here, and also choice will be different from before. Okay, so the second thing is that how do we create a drop-down list in the Google Sheet? Well, same thing, go to data, go data validation. Data validation, and then choose list from a range. And here we can just select the C3 to D3, which is the header itself. And then you click save. Okay, so it's the same thing, right? Just highlight this here and select this item to here. Click OK, and then click save. So you have the first one. And the second is the same thing. You go to data tab, choose data validations. Now if you want to remove the data validations, you can use remove the validation. Let's just remove it, and let's just do again. Data validations, list from range, and then here we can key the same formula in direct of this cell here. Oops. No, this selecting this list to here. No, there's a list here, right? Select this here from here. So click OK. So we don't type indirect, right? So we're here, we just choose this item and then click save. So we can see that this is the list that is shown here. So slightly different from Excel. Well, again, right? You use the data validation. Choose the list. Over here, choose data validation. Choose validations here. F2. This is the answer for from the indirect. So F2 to F8 for. Okay, and over here is the indirect functions, and that's how you create a dependable dependable job that